Chapter 1: The Beginning. They met on a rainy afternoon in Abuja. Amira was rushing to catch a taxi, and Zayn offered her his umbrella. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Zayn was calm, confident, and gentle in a way that made her heart slow down. He called her sunshine, even though it rained that day. Their friendship grew into late-night calls, inside jokes, and quiet prayers for each other's success. Within months, they were inseparable, two souls that felt like one. Amira believed in him with all her heart. He would say, "No matter what happens, I'll never break you." And she believed that too, until the promise broke. Chapter 2: The Betrayal. Love turned sour in silence. Zayn began changing. Less laughter, fewer calls, longer nights away. When Amira asked what was wrong, he always said, "Nothing, just work." But the truth found its way to her through a picture. Zayn and another woman at a restaurant, holding hands across the table. Her heart shattered in a quiet scream no one could hear. When she confronted him, he tried to explain. "It's not what you think, Amira. I got lost. I was stupid." Tears streamed down her face. "You didn't get lost, Zayn," she whispered. "You walked away." He begged for forgiveness, but she was done listening. The girl who once believed love could fix anything, now only believed in silence. Chapter 3: The Distance. Months passed. Amira buried herself in work, painting, and prayer. But pain has a way of echoing in the quiet moments, in her favorite songs, in the smell of rain, in memories that refused to fade. Zayn tried to move on too, but guilt haunted him like a shadow. He realized he hadn't just lost a lover, he lost his peace. Every woman he met reminded him of what he destroyed. One evening, fate crossed their paths again at a charity event. Amira looked radiant, no longer broken, just transformed. Zayn froze. His heart raced like the first day he met her. He whispered, "You look beautiful." She smiled politely. "Thank you, Zayn. I hope you're doing well." It wasn't anger anymore. It was peace, and that hurt him more than her tears ever did. Chapter 4: The Return. Weeks after that encounter, Zayn reached out, not to win her back, but to apologize properly. They met at a cafe, where everything once began. The silence between them was heavy, but honest. He spoke softly. "I betrayed you, and I've lived with that regret every day. You deserved better, and I became the man I promised I'd never be." Amira listened, her eyes calm. "Zayn," she said, "I forgave you long before you asked. Not because you deserved it, but because I deserved peace." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "I still love you, Amira." She smiled faintly. Love isn't always about ending up together. Sometimes, it's about growing apart and still wishing each other light. They both stood, looked at each other one last time, and walked in different directions, not in anger, but in quiet understanding. But life, unpredictable as it is, had one more twist. Months later, destiny brought them together again. This time not by chance, but by choice. Zayn had changed. Amira had healed. And when love returned, it didn't come begging or rushing. Came gently, patiently, respectfully. Under the same rain that once introduced them, Zayn held her hand and said, "Can I love you right this time?" She smiled, eyes glistening. Maybe love never left. It just waited for us to grow. The rain fell softly around them, washing away the past, and blessing a love that had learned to rise again. Would you like me to format it into a 10-minute voiceover script, with tone cues, pauses, and narration notes, so you can record or upload it directly from Mila's TV storytelling video? Love is not always perfect. Sometimes it begins with laughter and ends with lessons. Sometimes it breaks us just to rebuild us stronger. Amira and Zayn's story was never about who hurt more. It was about how two souls can fall apart, find themselves in the wreckage, and still have the courage to love again, not blindly, but with understanding. They learned that true love isn't about possession. It's about presence, about choosing to stay when life tests your heart, and walking away when love turns into pain. In the end, they didn't just find each other again. they found peace within themselves. Because the greatest love story isn't the one that survives everything, it's the one that teaches you who you truly are. And as the rain faded into dawn, two hearts, once broken, once healed, learned to breathe again, not as victims of betrayal, but as survivors of love. The end.